Hi everyone, I am Sabrina. I am the one behind Romance Life and Movies. .blogspot.com, just in case if you're following this from an outside link, then you know where to find and watch out for some more video posts, and I'll still be writing some blogs as well because this is really hard. It actually, by video, it is really difficult to make this post, but I chose to go with the video route this time because why not? This whole blog is about putting myself out there for myself more than anything. And what more can one be put out there but on video? It's very exposing, if you will. So let's get to a bit of the point here, and it's the date with myself. And I took myself out for dinner and a movie. And some of you may kind of do that kind of thing. And it's a great thing, I hear. I enjoyed myself, actually. It was very kind of, I don't know, in the end felt really good. The beginning part was really tough getting into it because I took myself down to Eau Claire and I went to Garage Sports Bar because there really isn't, I didn't really want to choose and go looking and go sit at like Joey's or whatever. So I went to a sports bar. What better way to really push myself to feeling sitting alone in a place, because that place was packed and all with groups of tens and multiples everywhere. So there's me standing out like a sore thumb, sitting there by myself. And no, that's not my insecurities per se, that I feel like people are looking at me and watching me of, why she's sitting alone, because I actually had um, two things proven to me. One from my waitress, where she asked, will you anyone else joining you, blah, blah, blah. Nope, just me. And I got the, oh, as she walked away, kind of like this really sympathetic, oh, how cute kind of reaction to me saying I'm sitting alone. Whatever. So I tried to just overcome that and go, meh, no big deal, right? I feel great right now. So I sat there. I tried to just take in my surroundings and just sit and enjoy my own company, if you will, because normally I'll use a something as a security blanket, whether it be my phone and I work and I'm sending emails and I'm writing thoughts down, or a notepad and I'm writing, oh, I got to do this, and oh, I should think of this, and oh, I can mind map this idea. I have a whole new idea. Why not? Because that's really how my brain works. And I hide behind that, though. I hide behind it so I feel like I'm lost in my work and I'm not exposed to the feelings of that people are looking at me feeling. Because I'm sure some of you can probably relate to that if you've ever gone and had to eat by yourself. If you haven't, I strongly recommend it. This is a task I am going to have to do on more than one occasion with myself, because I don't feel like it was the most successful just yet, and I need to still get to that point of going, I can rock sitting here by myself and have the best, most relaxing time. But I find just sitting is really tough. A friend actually pointed that out recently about just sitting. And I asked her, I'm like, but what do you do when you just sit there? Because I have no idea what you do with yourself when you just don't have something to do. And she's like, you just sit. You just enjoy and relax and just take it in. I'm like, oh, that sounds really hard and tough. And isn't that funny how that is? How, I mean, maybe not for all of you, but maybe some can relate. But for me, oh man, it is hard to just sit there. I definitely fiddled with my straw a few times and tried to feel very comfortable in this moment without getting lost behind something. So anyway, so that was kind of a bit of my experience there. I did have one guy actually approach me. It was kind of a funny story here. He looked over, he smiled, and I took my own advice, as I mentioned before in blogs before, that I have a tendency not to pay attention, or I quickly look away, because I get shy if someone has looked at me or something. And anyway, so I look back and I smile back because bonus, he was cute. And funny enough, he smiled again, and I smiled and back, and maybe anticipating that he might come over. Whatever he did, but he kind of leans over and he's like, "So you here by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Why?" Very confused. He was very confused of why I was there by myself. Um, I'm like, so I was kind of a little taken, and then he's just like, "To eat?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And you here, did you come, for beers with the boys kind of thing? And he's like, "Yeah." And then he just walked away. So I'm not sure what was going on there, but that was my second case in point of me and my insecurities of normally feeling like people questioning why one person is sitting there by themselves at a restaurant. Well, they proved it to me. There are people that think like that. So that was really tough. It was a very difficult moment, but at the same time, you know what? I was like, whatever. I'm here for myself tonight. I'm here for dinner and a movie with me, myself, and I. So I tried to settle my inner thoughts and overthinking that, and I just enjoyed in some way. I can't really say enjoy. That's actually a strong word. So we're just gonna say I got through it. And we'll talk about enjoyment and sitting alone in another post someday. But then so I got out of there and I went to go see a movie, and I took myself to go see The Artist. If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend it because it brings you back to, in my opinion, the movie is really about appreciating the small things. The title alone explains to you about it's the art, really. Maybe just to me, but it's the art of the acting, the art of the music, the art of not hearing what they're saying, but paying attention to the little things to know what's happening and just be taken in with the picture. And if you know, and I'll try not to make a spoiler here, but it's about the silent film going into the talkies, and that transition of losing that special small little thing that just was creative, and it was an art form in itself, and it kind of got lost, and then it really got lost nowadays, as you know. So, and it was a romance movie, ironically. So that I will be saying that is my movie in reference tonight. It may not be situation connected to what I did to a movie, but it definitely, I would say, is a connection in a sense of recognizing the small things around you and appreciating them, and don't take the little things or certain things for granted. And in this case, it was the art form of a silent film. And for me, it was about sitting there at a dinner, at a table in a public place, and just taking me, myself, and I in, and not taking that for granted, because that I do. I absolutely put me on my back burner all the time, and I don't just stop and go, exhale, breathe, and enjoy the moment of where I am right here and right now. So that is what I would say is my most exposed moment, and was that movie. So go see The Artist if you haven't already. Definitely go see it by yourself, because it was even more nostalgic that it was a silent film and me sitting there by myself. And take yourself out to dinner alone in a very populated place, and no hiding in the corner. And I will see you next time. Thank you for listening.